Hello there, my fabulous peeps. I'm Jess, your down-to-earth oracle, your no-nonsense psychic best friend and business advisor. And today we're going to talk about the 3 different types and styles of tarot decks there are out there. First, we're going to start with the Marseille style deck. So this is one of the closest to the original type of Italian deck that was created in the 14th century. There's a lot of information out there that kind of dictates this was probably created about in the early 15th century in Milan, and it was before France took over Milan, and so then it got incorporated into southern France, which is why it's called the Tarot of Marseille. So one of the big differences with this deck is that we do have, a very illustrated major arcana, such as the Star. We do have a much more simplified version of the court cards. We have the Page of Swords here for an example. So if we take a look, there's nothing in the background. There's nothing going on in the background here. It is just the page, so to speak, the character. And when we look at the Ten of Pentacles, it's just the number 10. A lot of other Tarot of Marseille style decks have like 10, in this case it would be Pentacles, or 6 Swords. And that's it. There's nothing else going on in this background. So some of the, differences with this is that it can be a little bit more of a challenge to read, right? Because there's not a lot of pictures or symbolisms to go off of. So this also does create an opportunity for like straight channeling if you are a more advanced reader. So next we're going to take a look at the standard Rider-Waite-Smith deck. All right, so as you can see, the standard Rider-Waite-Smith deck is one of the most popular, most recognized out there, right? We have a fully illustrated major arcana card, such as the Star here. We have a much more fully illustrated Page of Swords. As you can see, what the difference here is that this has a fully illustrated background, that there are symbolisms going on and movement within the card versus just the character, right? And then we have the Ten of Pentacles in the Pip card. And the Pip cards in the Rider-Waite-Smith decks are fully illustrated cards as well. You have scenes. You have 10 of the Pentacles here. You also have the symbolism involved with it versus just the number 10, or in other cases, 10 discs or 10 Pentacles. Okay, so let me go ahead and pause, and we'll take a look at the third style, which is the Thoth Tarot deck by Aleister Crowley from 1944 was when it was completed. So this is the Thoth Tarot style deck. Aleister Crowley decided to kind of consider this like an enhancement and more correct astrological connections to the actual tarot cards and their signs and their meanings. And so we do have some changes in this deck. But first, as you can see with the Star, we do have a fully illustrated card. It has a little bit of a different interpretation with this artist, which I love this deck. This is the Urban Tarot deck. But very similar, fully illustrated. One of the big differences, though, is that instead of pages, we have princesses. That is one of the big indicators that you are reading with a Thoth Tarot deck versus a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, as well as different interpretations, right? It's just a modified version of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So when we take a look at this, we have a Princess of Swords. Has a little bit of a different meaning into it, but you also have a full illustration going on here. You have full of symbology, as well as like a full background and everything else going on. So similar in aspect versus the Marseille version. Okay? So then we take a look at the Ten of Pentacles here, and it has a different meaning. It states wealth at the bottom. That was one of the other big changes with the Thoth Tarot deck too, is a lot of times they have their own different interpretations, slightly different, right? Posted somewhere on the card deck as well. That is kind of a standard status quo for this type of deck. But as you can see, we do have the 10 discs here. So a little bit similar to the Marseille style deck, but also we have a fully illustrated background. Those are rings here, right? So rich symbolism as well. So taking a look, like those are kind of the 3 major styles we have going on here. And it just depends on your preference on how you want to read. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining me here today, and there is no right or wrong deck that you choose. It's all up to you. I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of history and a little bit of comparison. Have a great day.